Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to do a very educational email that was sent from a subscriber. This is from a guy, he's 60 years old, divorced, and he shares his story from like 10 years ago when he was 50, when he met this gal who was going to become his future wife. And let me tell you, it was a disaster waiting to happen. You're going to see how she was 25 years old, half his age, and he was completely smitten by her physical beauty and ignored all sorts of red flags and married her. And I might add that he's going to mention that, and I'm going to, believe him here when he said that, hey, he took care of himself, he was in good shape, looked good for his age, looked younger actually. He dated a lot of women, had success with women, but by him meeting a gal half his age, all common sense, all knowledge and wisdom went right out the door because of her physical beauty, and did he pay. And that'll be a very good one to go over here. This guy is taking the opportunity to share his story and obviously look bad to warn guys out there, don't make the mistake he did. Obviously, and he's going to give lessons throughout his short story here, what to avoid. But the main thing is, don't let your you-know-what do all your thinking, amongst many other things. And so I'm going to go through a story here, and you're going to see a few shocking things here. Well, it won't shock you because you guys are used to this. And his lessons. Then I'm going to have my lessons at the end of this story. So hopefully at least one person out there will hear this and will scare the crap out of him that they won't end up where he is. He says, Dear SSM, I love your channel and what you are exposing in hopes to help other men and some women by learning from others. I'm writing this in hopes it will help blue pill listeners to not make the same mistakes I have made. I wish I knew 25 years ago, heck even 10 years ago, what I know now about being R-pill. I'm 60 years old right now, very fit for my age, and I look much younger than I am. And back in my prime, I was a ladies' man. I still have no trouble attracting younger women, hence my story begins. Okay, you were a ladies' man, but obviously, even though you could attract women when you were younger and all, you still didn't clearly get the big picture and know reality, and it bit you big time. Well, 10 years ago, I met a very attractive woman in her mid-20s. Let us call her Kay. I'm not going to spend the whole story calling her Kay. I'll just call her Christy, an arch nemesis of mine out there in the world, who I'd like to forget. Christy. Because of our age difference, I did not pursue her for more than just an acquaintance. It turned out that she was smitten with me, and she actually made the first moves on me. Translation, gold digger. And we're going to see real quick who was the one that was smitten here. Come on, brother. You're half her. She's half your age. I know you wanted to believe that you were James Bond and all the girls were after you and everything like that and believe the fairy tale. Half your age, more than 2 decades younger than you, she's smelling resources. I'm sure you were charming, looked good, but let's be honest here. Well, I thought I was living the dream. A 50-year-old dating a beautiful 25-year-old woman. He says, lesson number 1, pay attention to red flags. Red flag number 1, she was living with a man that I did not know about, and she claimed to have broken it off with him the day we got together. Yeah, sure. Did he know that? There's a question for you. That was probably the placeholder boyfriend, and then she saw you, resources, boom. And I'm sure, you were a good-looking guy and all that, and you were charming and all, but at the end of the day, resources. You really think she wanted to be with a guy double her age? Yes, there are women out there that are attracted to older men. In fact, most women are attracted to older men, but not old men. And when you're double her age, you're considered to be the old man in their eyes. 5 years older, 8 years older, 10 years older, okay. But when you start getting to be a decade and a half, especially 2 decades older, especially from 25 to 50, come on. I mean, if she's 55 years old and you're 75, that's different, obviously, but 25 to 50? Yeah, that guy didn't know that he was on a break. Well, I'm normally smarter than this, but I decided to continue seeing her anyway. Smack! Yeah, we all know why. Obviously. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I've been with several women throughout my life, and sex with her was the best I've experienced. It is clear that my small head was controlling my big head. Smack! Of course it was. That's the main theme of this whole video here is don't let it happen. Unfortunately, most guys do. Of course it was the best loving you ever had. She's half your age. You're feeling like the freaking king, man. I bet you when you were done and she wasn't looking, you're probably flexing in the mirror, feeling awesome. Meanwhile, she's thinking, she's rubbing her hands together. Ha ha ha. I got this, motherfucker. Well, after several months of dating her, I started to notice something that should have been red flag number 2. She was always drunk when I would call or see her. I questioned her about this, and she admitted that she was an alcoholic. Instead of walking away like I should have, I then told her that if she wanted to continue a relationship with me, she must stop drinking. She agreed and actually quit cold turkey, and we continued our relationship and eventually married. That deserves a double smack. Smack, smack. Hey, you think she's going to change? Just like that? I bet she was drinking you weren't around. She knows obviously she has to play this game to get you to marry her. And then you married her? Dude, why do you think she's with you? The resources. She's not. You can't change a woman. Women can change guys, but men aren't going to change women. Red flag number 3. On our wedding night, after the reception, I took her to a beautiful lake house that I had rented where we would spend the next week. As we undressed to do what most newlyweds do on their wedding night, she said something to me. She said she has something to tell me. Okay, guys, place your bets. What do you think she's going to tell him? You know, she has 2 kids. She was born a dude. Take your pick. She tells him that I don't like sex. I was shocked by this, as up until our wedding night, we engaged in escort activities almost every single day. I replied, that's entrapment. You wait until we are legally married to drop this on me, and literally on our wedding night. Ho, ho, ho. Bait and switch, brother. She got you, and now she doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to do, because otherwise, well, you obviously know the rest there. Doesn't like the lovin'. No, she doesn't like the lovin' with you. She did everything she had to do to get you to marry her. And by the way, I'm not hearing anything about private investigators checking her out. You checking her out, doing your homework. I want to know how much time has passed since your first date or getting together as a couple and you marrying her. Man, she knew you said she was smitten with you. No. You were smitten with her. This sucks, man. Right then and there, you should have been talking to your lawyer the following Monday for an annulment if you could pull it off, if not divorce. Because every day you're with her past that point, you're paying more. Says here, well, after 6 years of marriage, smack, you stayed with her after that? I discovered that she apparently liked SCX, just not with me. She relapsed with her alcoholism, big surprise, drinking heavily, and started having affairs with multiple men. And as soon as I discovered that, she would receive text messages in the middle of the night from random men, and it turns out that when she was drunk, she was very honest. She admitted to sleeping around. I've always had a hard rule about cheating and never tolerated cheaters in the past, and believe me, almost every woman I had a relationship with cheated and found themselves out the door immediately when I found out. Bro, in spite of my tough love here, I am sorry this happened to you. Really, I am. This shouldn't happen to any good guy. And you obviously were a good guy to her. But this is what happened. You know, you convinced yourself. Like some bullshit movie. Like, I found the one. She's half my age. She'll make me feel young. And I look so cool in front of everybody when I'm out with this young girl. When you're out with this young girl, you may be a young woman. That's what it was. You know, you may be getting dirty looks from women your age, which, let's be honest, is pretty funny. And you're getting, envious looks from other dudes. But the people that know the best, they're sitting back with a smug look on their face like, I know why she's with him. And look what happened. Man, oh man. Well, for some stupid reason, I let her talk me into marriage counseling. Smack! So she can drag the marriage out longer and get a better payday. Why? Well, also, at this point, you're, I don't know, mid-upper 50s. Clearly you don't want to be divorced. Maybe you don't want to be alone. She doesn't want to be your caretaker as you get older. Might need help. $10,000 for counseling to hear from the woman counselor that it was okay and normal for a woman to cheat, and I should let it go. Did this marriage counselor have a septum nose ring? Did she have visible tattoos? Maybe some streaks of green or blue through her hair? I bet you your wife picked her out. SSM, never go to marriage counseling. Save your money as you will need it for the divorce. Well, I'm not going to have that problem. Red flag number 4. During counseling, I asked why 90% of my wife's Facebook friends were male. Did you just say that 98% of them are male? Did you just say that you allowed her to have the social media with other dudes? Smack! That's when she admitted that she had SCX with a majority of them prior to me. Man, you got yourself a carousel rider. I'm going to say at least 200. Well, if you're thinking 200, probably it's 600. Another red flag that I missed. A lot of red flags, plural. I didn't think to question her past or her body count before continuing to a long-term relationship. Another lesson for you guys. Always do your homework before getting into relationships. Yes? I really wish you found my... Well, okay. I started 6 years ago. You were in the middle of a divorce at that point or something like that. It wouldn't have mattered. 4 years later, I'm now divorced. It cost me my life savings. All because I let my package do my thinking for me. Starting over now at 60 years old, and I guarantee I will never get married again. Oh my God. Bro, again, I'm sorry for what happened to you. That shouldn't happen to anybody, but good God in heaven, you screwed up. I'm willing to, I don't know how you met her. You didn't specify at all how that happened, but let me tell you, I'm sure she, just like plenty others, she did her homework. If you met her at the gym or some country club you played golf in, or I don't know what, I'm sure there was some help there to find you. And I don't know what kind of car you drove or at the time, how you dressed. Did you flaunt a Rolex? I don't know what. Did you flash your wealth? But something obviously made her realize, I'm going to go for this guy because I can benefit. And clearly it worked. You see the tricks they do to rope you in? All I can say at this point, man, is, you're sharing your story, and I appreciate that. It will help somebody, I hope. Somebody's going to get something out of this. Guarantee. I mean, people see this all over the world. But, sir, you're 60. All I can say for you now, man, is, well, I get a lottery ticket every now and again, hoping you get, not the big jackpot for $800 million, but maybe like $100,000. Every once in a while, I'd splurge on a $2 lottery ticket. It's no longer $1, it's now $2. And I'd be doing everything you can to figure out a way, whatever money you have left, because obviously your life savings are gone, you probably have some money, and figure it out. And if you're in good health, at least be happy about that. And continue on taking care of yourself, being in good health. Obviously, you're going to have to keep working, whatever your career may be, for a very long time. After all this shit, I would obviously never get married again. I don't know why you got married at 50 years old. You didn't specify if you'd been married prior to this, or if you were hoping to have kids. I don't know what, but holy crap. I mean, what's done is done. The best I can say is, get those lottery tickets every now and again and cross your fingers. Maybe God will give you a break after all this crap. And you got to keep on working, whatever your career is, and rebuild the wealth and all that, and invest smart, and go from there and learn your lesson. Meanwhile, the sad thing is that, well, if that was 10 years ago, now she's 35. Okay, so now, yes, if she's good looking, she'll be able to find some other sucker, but it won't be as easy. She'll just find an older sucker to rope in it, because she'll piss through the money, guaranteed. But anyhow, guys, major lesson for all you guys out there that think, because, But anyhow, I promised you guys my own personal lessons from the story, so I'm going to give you 5 very down-to-earth, realistic lessons from this whole thing. Some won't surprise you, but here goes. In no particular order, number 1, if there are decades between your ages or you're twice her age, accept the fact she's in you for your resources. Example, guys like Hugh Hefner, Bill Belichick, DiCaprio, etc., etc. I mean, think about it. How many times do you see all these blondes hanging out with the late Hugh Hefner? Do you think they're really there because of his charming personality, or they like old sausage? No, his resources. Bill Belichick. He's 73 years old, I think. I think his girlfriend, the cheerleader, is like 24. She doesn't just have daddy issues, she has granddaddy issues. But no, actually, it's about the money. End of story. He is getting a young piece of ace, and she's getting his resources and nothing more. DiCaprio. Okay, DiCaprio has plenty of resources, and he's famous, and there was a time that I think women would consider him to be good looking. But if you've seen DiCaprio in the last few years, believe me, his looks are going downhill big time. Dude's sporting a big beer belly, but he always has chicks in their early 20s. And for him, he's getting what he wants out of it. They're getting what they want out of it. It probably helps their careers. They're looking to be a model or something. But don't make no mistake. If Leonardo DiCaprio was a regular average Joe and 51 years old and didn't have any money and didn't have fame and fortune, and I just said fortune, money, same thing, these girls would not be with him. That purely for his resources, what he can do for them. You know, my mom and dad, I love them. May my dad rest in peace. My dad was 45 years old, divorced, when he went out on his first date with my mom. She was 21. And as much as my dad was good looking, he very much was, he looked much younger than when he was than his age, and charming and all that. If my dad wasn't a doctor and wasn't a high-ranking military officer, do you think my 21-year-old mother would have been as interested in him? No. I'm a realist here. It's because my dad had money, and he had status, and he was a doctor, and a high-ranking military officer. Then it worked, and they loved each other very much. And also my dad was good-looking and charming. Women liked him, but still, I'm not a fool. I'm a realist. There's a reason there. So guys, you're going to date younger women, understand if it's multiple decades or you're twice her age, she's there for the resources. Don't fool yourself. You can have fun with her. Better wear protection, but I'm telling you, true love, get the fuck out of here. It's for your resources you can provide. Now, some women have daddy issues, don't get me wrong. Shit, some have granddaddy issues, but even then, it's not worth it. Number 2, the more beautiful they are, the more they know they can get most guys to do whatever they want. In other words, by the way, when he said you can't change a woman, no, you can't. But they can change a guy. Even a guy that has experience and is used to getting some, if for whatever reason some beautiful girl, usually a lot younger, does it for him, a lot of guys they can have right around their fingers, either because they're old and they don't want to be alone, or they love the idea of a beautiful babe with them all the time, or all the bedroom action. Well, look what happened to this guy. Second they got married, boom, I don't like having sex. Okay? Be aware of that. 3, do thorough investigations on your girl before you get serious, especially if you plan on getting married. It's not rocket science, guys. You better do your homework, especially nowadays with the internet and social media and dating apps and the times that we're in where you can't be a strong, empowered gal without, riding the carousel forever. You better watch out. It's worth your time and energy. 4, if you're in your late 40s or 50s and you have built wealth, have a good life, there is no reason to get married. If you haven't been married yet, or maybe you've already been married and you had kids, why the hell would you do it again? Or even if you got to your 40s and 50s and you've never been married and there's a reason for that, why would you suddenly do that? The only reason I can think a guy might do that at that point is because he's freaking out that he doesn't have a legacy, no kids, and maybe, but seriously, it didn't sound like this dude wanted to have any kids, so what the hell was the deal? You'll spend your life building wealth, building a nice life for yourself, because contrary to what I say, life isn't always about money, but it's good to have good money because life's a hell of a lot easier, more comfortable. You sleep a lot better at night having a decent amount of net worth in case shit goes on. And guess what? Life and shit happens. You want to risk everything you've built, the nice things you have, the nice life, because you want to get married? Are you out of your mind? If you reach a point that you're in your definitely mid to late 40s and 50s on up, you don't need to get married. If you want to see a woman and you click with her and you think it's good, okay, have a good time with her. But that's it. There's no marriage. And if she says that, well, I'm going to leave you, if it doesn't happen, fine. Had a great time. I wish you well. Goodbye. You'll find somebody else. End of story. But guys they usually cave and end up marrying them because they built an attachment. Don't let yourself have an attachment. And don't be fooled why they're with you, especially if they're a lot younger. And number 5, and I can't stress this enough, and the main theme of the story is, stop letting your tallywhacker do all your thinking. I can't tell you how many times in history men have gotten in trouble because they let their dick do all their thinking. Come on, guys. Now, I'm not going to say that I haven't made that mistake myself. But I'm glad to say I haven't made that mistake in a very long time. You know, I'm a couple of years from 50. There ain't no way I'm going to ruin what I have and worked hard for in my life because of some young piece of ace here in South Florida is calling me Poppy and is hot for me. Yeah, right. Any 20-something that has the hots for me, I'm going to seriously question why. I like to think that I have a decent personality, that I'm okay looking, but come on here. I'm not a fucking idiot, but a lot of guys, either they're afraid to be alone or they want to walk around with that girl. You can have a girl on your side. You can have a younger girl if you're older and you take care of yourself and everything. Doesn't mean you got to marry her. And do not for a second think that she isn't there so she can benefit in some capacity, some way. And I also urge you at that point, you have a vasectomy. And if you don't, you always wear protection because if you don't marry her, there's other ways for her to milk you for your resources. We're not stupid here. So anyhow, guys, there is the important lessons there. Again, brother, I appreciate you writing in your story. I know it's not easy to admit where you messed up, but what's done is done, and do the best you can to, going forward. And frankly, I'm pretty sure she'll piss through all that money, guaranteed. But until then, And by the way, if things improve for you or whatever, write us down the road. Let us know how you're doing. But I appreciate you writing in. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. If you like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.